Welcome to episode 19 of the All Things All podcast. We are back once again travelling the length and breadth of the UK, but we've not really gone far. We're back in Wigan again. On today's podcast, I'm joined by Mr. Conor Martin of CJM Tree Care. Mate, it's been a bit of a trouble to get here tonight, hasn't it?
Just a bit, yeah.
So we went over to your yard, and you're in an industrial place, and next to it was this massive building with about, 16 rock bands inside of it playing music?
Yeah, I thought it was one all this time.
Yeah, thought you know what, we'll go over there after hours, be nice and quiet. Everyone can hear us on the podcast, see us on the video. We were there 10 minutes ago.
Not the case.
We've picked everything up, come over to the other side of Wigan, and here we are now.
We've done it. We're here though.
Finally done it. My first question, I ask everyone this one because I'm always interested. How did you get started in a tree surgery?
I went working with my dad. He did it. I was a bricklayer at the beginning, so I did 3 years. Yeah, 3 years at college, straight from school doing bricklaying. Did a couple of years then, did my apprenticeship with my brother, and then did a couple more years. And I think my brother was having some time off, so I just jumped on with my dad. Yeah. Bit of cash in hand, and yeah, that's it.
So can you remember your first day working with your dad?
Probably when I was about 13. So I used to jump on in summer holidays and stuff and just go dragging. And then just jumped on after my brother and cracked on. Yeah.
So where did you go to get your tickets?
To be honest, I actually learned a lot of the climbing stuff before I actually did my tickets. Yeah. I did it sort of the naughty way really. And then I went to Myerscough and did.
I went to the Myerscough, but the one in Croxteth. You go to the one in Preston?
Preston, yeah.
Yeah, Preston's got all the bells and whistles, and us poor little lot in Liverpool.
Yeah, it's a bit fancy.
I think we must have all got your hand-me-downs at one stage, because we all had a load of 261s all of a sudden turned up, and it already it was engraved on the air filter. I'm like, where have all these come from? And then I remember going up to the campus. I think we were up there for 1 or 2 days, and we were just up at the equestrian bit, just sat in there, just having a little cheeky look every now.
Yeah, spot on.
So while we were over at your yard, you got quite a nice little bit of kit behind us. What we got there, an ST8.
Yeah, ST8.
And you know what? That was the first time I've seen an FSI out in the wild.
Right.
I've not. Everyone who've seen it have all got bandits at the moment. Those ZTs.
Yeah, on the tracks.
What's it like?
It's bang on. I mean, access is good again. Probably do with a bit more power, but I think on the whole, it gets it done.
I'll take it the hydraulic to swing them, or is it manual?
Manual. So it's got hydraulic drive, so you can as opposed to the B20, you can actually go stump grinding on your own. So if it's a boggy lawn, it'll drive through it. But I mean, it's already earned its money back. It's out 2-3 days a week. So.
And then no one can see, but in the trailer next to us, we've also got a cast worky quad as well.
I have.
Finally, people are actually going, you know what, my back is worth it, lifting the heavy logs.
No, that's it. I mean, they can't get an hangover, can they? So they're not going to let you down in the morning like a lot of growing lads will.
I've always said, if you think the finance payment of one of them is less than a groundie's week's wage.
Yeah, that's it. And
the function out of it, like you said, it starts when you want it to start, as long as it's maintained.
Yeah. They'll
just go and go and go. They'll outlast any lad I know in the industry.
The thing is, what I've found with it is at back end of your day, when you get into that grueling bit, where it's 2 o'clock and it's loads of logs carry out, climbers are packing the kit away, and it's just by the time you've tidied up, that's put the timber on trailer or on truck.
Just taking care of it for the day,
that's it. It's like taking the back braking stuff out of the job.
Yeah. I call them the wonky quads. Cast, if you're listening, you do know I do actually like the products, but I just think they're very unbalanced at times. I noticed you've got 50.
Yeah, but so I had I noticed same, to be honest. It was the lifting capacity's mint. Yeah. The hydraulics are fine, but then it tips before. That's the first weak link in the chain. So I had my mate who's a bit hands-on. He's actually a really good engineer. He built me some weights whip on over the top of the old one. So
how many times have you had all the lads on the back of it?
A few times. I've got a picture with about 4 of us on back, all giving it a thumbs up, but yeah, it works.
What's next on the shopping list?
I don't know, to be honest. We're moving at the minute. We're sort of moving into a unit and taking a bit of a leap, so I'm happy at the minute with what I've got. Probably one of them bandit stump grounders, to be honest. Or the bigger one of, I think it's a B28.
Yeah, the B range.
Yeah. But or a smaller chipper, so lads can tow it, because they can't tow that at the minute.
What climbing setup are you're working with at the moment?
I'm an SRT.
They're dirty words.
Single line me. Dirty so
Spider Jack man yourself.
Oh yeah.
I've never tried SRT, so I shouldn't actually say anything bad about it. I just don't understand how it works.
It's a game changer. No, really, it is. Like, good. At the beginning, I hated it, and then I was just using it for access. So throw lining, base tight, get up there, and then double lining straight away. But then now I'm just, as soon as I climb on double line, anything over sort of 25, 34, I'm just tying off at top and single lining it. And for big reductions and stuff, you've got like pretty much double the anchor points because you'll just redirect to something what you wouldn't just tie in if you was on double line, but you'll happily sort of redirect and just bang a sling on something.
You're doing double rope technique at the moment?
Am I doing it?
Yeah.
Only in like your small domestic like small stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those questions at the moment. Why do we need 2 anchor points in for one tree surgeon?
Get me on that. I don't know. I think someone behind the desk who don't do it day in day out, it's drafted that up. But it's always been in apparently, but they're just now.
Been doing this 10 years.
Yeah.
I've only spoken to one lad who's actually went, we're doing it, and only because he works for one of the big guys in the industry. And that's because they were happy to go and pay for all the ropes, pay for all the extra mechanical devices or anything that they needed. But for any like freelancers or anything like that, so you got a completely secondary setup to go along with already the cost, and everything in our industry is just getting more and more expensive.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not gotten cheaper any time.
It's productivity as well, like trying to do a big reduction, trailing 2 ropes around with you. I can see like if you doing aerial window cleaning, or like if you get lads de-vegging rock faces,
then I can understand.
It's 2-dimensional, but a tree's not. It's a big 3D canopy. So you're not sort of just attached to one wall.
But the guys who make up these rules, I'm always firm. If you're going to implement a rule or something, you should at least go and work with it to see what the productivity of it.
Yeah, under a bit of pressure as well.
Not like a bit of pressure, is it? 2 o'clock events. We need to get this job done. We've got one more booked in for today.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it, to be honest. Yeah. I've give it a go. But
one of the big things that's impressed me is you're on point with your branding, because I've watched a couple of your videos on your website, and you've also decided to go with Checker Trade. Are you still using Checker Trade to get most of your work in?
Yeah, I wouldn't say most. We get steady inquiries off it, but I mean, one thing I like about Checker Trade, they chase you up. So like, if your insurance is coming to an end, they know the date it expires.
So they're on more than you are.
Yeah, 4 weeks before they're reminding you that your insurance is due up, and you got to send your certs in and stuff and prove you're legit, really. Yeah. So they, I mean, we get steady work off it. It's not. Yeah, it's just another sort of...
So another way of getting the work.
Yeah, that's it.
So with Checker Trade, did they automatically send out like an invite for customers to review, or have you got to like give the customers a review? Because that's one thing I've always struggled with, is saying, leave us a review,
on
Google or whatever.
I mean, to be honest, I don't really pressure customers. If they ask, I'll just tell them where to go. I mean, to be honest, I found with Checker Trade, if they use you from that, then they leave the review on there. Yeah. So they'll follow it up with a review. The Google ones, more when they have asked, I've sort of pointed them to Google, because people don't tend to leave them as much, I don't think.
So the main reason we're here, cranes and helicopters. Mate. So
it's not happening in Wigan, is it?
You know what? Strangely enough, the only helicopter we tend to see
is police one.
Yeah, it's GMPs again.
Oh, they're right. Yeah, they're circling around here.
This is the second podcast in a row we've ripped integrated Manchester Police. I'm gonna get stopped on the way home. I'm telling you. How did you end up in New Zealand then?
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one really. We was here. I sort of teamed up with my dad and we was getting through a bit, and then, I mean, me, my dad, and my brother are similar. Really, we all sort of our own bosses and like doing it our way. So I was sort of going more on my own, sort of trying to sub out to other firms and stuff. And then I went on Herb Talk actually on the forum and went for advertise like man, van and chipper at a day rate, and just seen the ad for New Zealand. And I think the company was looking for, it was like a recruitment company over here, what was looking for staff basically basically sign them off here and prove you're up to scratch, and then they'll stick you on a plane and you've got a job on the other side.
Were you able to take any of your kits over, or was it a lot
No,
of just
no.
planned?
So, yeah, how it worked, I applied for the job. I had to go down to London for a trial date, took a skinny sycamore down in the backyard and got took for an house, and that was me. Yeah, you was up to scratch then.
Congratulations, you're coming down under.
Yeah, and then I had like a FaceTime Skype call with the manager in New Zealand, and that was it. When I got there, had a big sort of induction, went round site, another level to over here, like the scale of it. And yeah, they took me out, bought me brand new climbing kit, brand new everything.
In the candy shop, mate.
Yeah. And then you was that new lad on your head morning after, and everything's brand new. Head to toe brand new. You
feel at that stage, I better just lay down and just muddy everything up a little bit so I don't stand out too much.
Everything was literally just head to toe brand new.
So was it mainly helicopters you were doing over in New Zealand, or was it a mixture of the choppers?
No, it was like most of the work is. Well, to be honest, I worked on the council contract for Auckland, so most day-to-day work was sort of taking deadwood out of trees and, a lot of deadwood in. They get a lot more sort of failures over there, a lot more than over here, so we was attending to a lot of that. But then, basically, how it worked is Tony, the guy who sort of got me. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have got it onto them jobs. He was like the in-house assessor, if you will. And like a trainer assessor, but built in within the company, and that was his role. And he basically, me and him sort of got quite friendly. And then he'd basically go around and check people up to scratch. And then if a crane job come in, they'd sort of handpick who they wanted to use. So did a couple of crane jobs first. Yeah, scared death at the beginning.
What was it like when you're there at the site? Did you mentally do anything to go right?
Not really, no. Probably watched a few YouTube videos.
Oh,
but I had Tony on comms, so I'm basically just doing.
Yeah.
He's pulling the strings basically. You're doing what he says. So he's like the dogman, as they call it over there. But it was put in as like a straightforward crane job. The first one I did, and it's actually on YouTube. I think I've uploaded the video of that. And it weren't.
No.
Like it was like it was a big old pine tree. I was in at the deep end on that. I was in agony. I was cramping up a lot towards the end of that day. Yeah.
So did you actually, while you're on the ground, did you just clip into it and they'll just drop you into it, or was it?
With a crane. Yeah, just run a cambium saver through the hook. Put a bit of tape on the hook.
As you were going up, were you not going, oh, this is a little bit too much?
I was loving it really.
It's good,
yeah, good.
So I've never done a crane job in my life. Probably never will, because I've got no idea where to even start. Did they teach you you need to do certain amounts of courts? How did you even? That?
It was obviously you have a bit of a brief. An induction in the morning, and obviously you've had the conversations before it. I've basically step cuts. You'll see in America they do a lot of the V cuts and they'll. And to be honest, I mean I've done that over here, and it works maybe just as good, if not slightly better, I'd say. But basically just close to lining your cuts up, and it's cutting's quite the easy bit really.
How do you know that you're not going to overload the crane or anything?
To be honest, the jobs, with the dogman, it was pretty much down to him. So he was telling you where to set the chains, and then telling you where to cut. Because obviously, you're cutting through limbs like this.
Yeah.
And then, to you to actually get a gauge for it, him being stood all the way 50 metres back, he can sort of see scale a lot better than you can. And they're massively experienced. They've been doing it 20 years, do you know?
What was it like when the first piece you've done the step
Scary.
cut? did you? Because I've done it a few times where I've cut something and I thought I'm just going to slowly move myself back, but not make the lads know.
Yeah, because it's just like everything. We cut and the piece falls.
Yeah.
So then when it doesn't, and it's just still and
well, instead of it going down, it goes up.
And
instead.
Then the butt just starts floating away, and it's 4 or 5 ton of timber's just vanished.
It's like any tickets you can get to with cranes or anything.
Over here, I'm not too sure, to be honest. I honestly wouldn't know. I know a couple of American tree teams who are following over in America. I know they have.
I think the stuff with the TCIA over in America.
Yeah. And I know New Zealand did have a spot where some of the lads went. I never went to it.
Yeah.
But they had training courses over there.
I think the closest for us in the UK to do anything like crane like would be with Mupes or something like that, wouldn't it? Again.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
You'd think it would be something what should pick
It
up
seems,
on that.
I kind of feel like our industry's kind of going a little bit more Americanised.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got more like the worky quad, the advanced, the multi ones are starting to take over the labour saving.
Yeah, that's it.
Chippers are now starting to get that a little bit bigger. Trucks are still as small as ever. Nothing's really ever going to change with that.
That's because our hands are tied with.
Yeah.
Yeah, reels and regs.
Any idea how much it costs to get a crane out?
A crane? I mean, I've used cranes over here, and I know the day rate here, roughly, but New Zealand, I'm not too sure. Over here, I think, don't hold me to this in case you ring them, I think Sutton's, who I use in Manchester.
I heard on this podcast.
Yeah.
This
No, Sutton's are a really well-experienced team with Tree lads. 550, 600 a day plus that.
It's not too bad.
So don't hold me to that if anyone's watching.
You must be a really good salesman to convince the customer. Yeah, 500 quid's just going on getting a crane in.
I mean, it's one of them. If you can turn a 2-day removal into 1 day, like if your 2-day removal's coming in at, I don't know, plucking figures, if it's 1,500 quid, say, all timber gone, and everything off site, and a crane can turn that into a day, it sort of balances out. So and it's more fun. So it's morale boost as well. Like it's a day in calendar what everybody's looking forward to. Do you know?
Because if anyone says to me cranes, I don't know if you've probably come across him if you've been on Orb Talk, but Reg Coates.
Yeah.
When he used to be over in Sheffield, when he went over to America, I think he was the guy who kind of
introduced it.
You can't use cranes in tree work, but I've always, in my mind, I've only ever come across maybe like 1 or 2 jobs where I think I could have used a crane.
Yeah.
But either I looked at the clients and went, they're not going to go with it, or it'd be a case of I don't think I'm quite confident enough in actually doing it. Do you use any extra equipment while you're working with the cranes that you need to take up with you?
Not really, no.
No,
I used to have like a little pocket wedge just attached to a sling. So like if you start cutting, if you're going to run the cut straight through, just bang a wedge in. If it does take a bit of a tip, you can still get your saw right.
Do you tend to just go, I'll just use the biggest saw?
Like we was just dropped in tree with a 4.6, then to a 6.6, then an 8.8 if needed. Like it's not. You want to do it before you do it, and then when you do it, when you've done it, it's just
And what headsets are you using? Using those I can't think of the brand.
I'm on, you think Senna?
The Senna's.
I was on Senna's over there, and then I've gone for a cheaper option here, which is the Freecon, which there's 65 quid off Amazon, so pick some of them up. And a man is still running after 2 years.
Still going strong.
Yeah, bang on.
Helicopters. You're a man of many talents, so you run your own business, you've worked with cranes, top her off and go work with helicopters. So I'm assuming when in the UK you were doing the helicopters?
No, New Zealand as well. That was like so they'll sort of introduce you to a bit of crane work. I mean, the company's massive I was working for. I think at the time about 550 employees across New Zealand and Australia. So it's like any big projects. Like they're getting them basically.
That's insane. I don't even know any firms in the UK with. Well, maybe Gristwood and Thomas. Maybe they've got maybe 200.
I think pushing 300 at one point.
300.
But I mean, there was a big company, so they could pull the strings and make.
If you think what our wage bill will be at the end of the month for 2 or 3 lads,
mad, isn't it?
And then you go, there's 500 lads.
Yeah.
$500,000 a month easily.
I know.
That's
when I landed there and just walked across the yard, I'd never seen anything like the trucks are numbered, so you can find your truck in the morning, and everyone's got a 9, 12 or 15-inch bandit on it. It's
not much lopping on the branches to go in the chippers over there, then is there?
No.
You're there, you've gotten the call, right, we want you to go do a helicopter job. What's your first reaction?
I was buzzing at first. Buzzing but nervous. Because the lads, you're out doing your day-to-day work, but then the lads who were sort of picked for the alley work, they've basically handpicked the team really. Yeah. So you're going in just as the new lad. But like I said, everyone were bang on. And just follow their lead really. So there'd be like 4 climbers in tree at once, because obviously the helicopter's way too efficient for just one lad.
Thought of that. I've got no experience working with helicopters.
So basically, one of the reasons for using it, the first job we did, the first one I did, was basically, someone in New Zealand will be correcting me here, but they've got like a government, the like Maori government, I think they call it the EY or something, and they basically wanted to strip the volcanic cones around Auckland of non-native species of tree, but with no ground damage. So they foot the bill.
We'll just get a helicopter in.
We'll just fly it out, yeah.
Again, how much is a helicopter? Any idea?
I think $2,500 an hour it coming at.
Makes you want to
but then to be honest, that's only part of it, because you've 4 or 5 climbers on all the jobs I was on, and then a couple of 100 metres away somewhere there's probably a 12 or 15 ton machine feeding like a 30-inch chipper into an Arctic wagon. So they've just basically closed some car park over there, and the chopper's just literally going back and forth, just releasing the piece.
It's the noise and the fact that, what's the helicopter, maybe about 50 foot up above your head or something?
Yeah, it's literally like, one of the jobs we did, one of the climbers was like he maybe had 10 metres of his stem left, and I was sat in the top of my tree, like, I don't know, probably 35 metre pines. So I'm sat waiting for my first lift, and obviously the line on the chopper is down, he's hooking on, and I could literally see the pilot, and he's like smiling with his thumb up, and I'm just like swaying about. So he's literally at some points like from here to the top, maybe a bit further than that telegraph pole.
Did you not at any one stage go, I'm only a tree surgeon, I'm not kidding over
It just sort of sank in the end of the day really.
Yeah.
When day's over.
That's like a proper ballsy job. You've come down off that and you've went, definitely having a beer with that job.
Yeah, that's good.
I'd be terrified of it.
No, it was like, you do get into a rhythm, but what I probably did about five individual jobs. Some of them was a couple of days, but it was like if you started well, it seemed to go well. Yeah. But on one in particular, I had like a bit of trouble, got saw stuck for over 5 minutes at like 30 metres, so the piece had sat on the saw, and he's above you. You basically stopped the show, and this helicopter's not cheap, and you've done the cut wrong. It was that was probably one of my worst. It's been like my best jobs, but that was a rough day. That.
So again, do you have, like with the helicopters, do you have a dog man as well on the ground, or are you communicating directly with the pilots?
You have a couple. No, so your dog man's, he relays all his messages to the pilot, and then he flicks the switch and speaks to you. So it's all like a... Yeah.
That must be awesome, right? Helicopter 2, go over, take that tree out.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I can only imagine it in my head, like how absolutely insane that must be.
No, it is, it's good.
So again, is there any special cuts that you need to do with
it? A lot of it, you just match the cut up. The straight timber's easy. Like, you can literally just run your saw straight through, because the helicopter takes it away that quick. You don't have to sort of worry about the butt coming at you. Yeah. So it's like literally as you're through, they just go away. But with a crane, it's like the butt can kick back, and so you try and match it up a bit better.
You ever had the dog man get on the radio saying that piece was a little bit too heavy that time?
Yeah, but I mean, we pre-sling the trees the day before, so all the slings are sort of ready installed.
Ah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So like, you'll do a full day of climbing, lifting and the revy, like the big sort of 24mm slings, and you're pulling like 4 of them up on your line all day and putting them in. So everything's sort of pre-worked out before the helicopter comes. But then obviously...
That makes a lot of sense when you just say it like that. I'm sitting here going, that was a dumb question.
No. But it's like, they do go up there, like, I think the lifting capacity was like 1.125 tonne. So they'd aim for sort of 800-900 key for keep it efficient. But there was a few you hear noise at helicopter drop, like the engine drop a bit, and you're like...
Oh. You ever had an oh shit moment doing it?
There was the one where I got my saw stuck.
Yeah.
That was bad. the weight was sort of heading, the weight was heading away from me, and I'd sort of done my back cut, but then done it too deep, so it just sat on my bar and jammed it solid. So then the dogman's trying to direct the helicopter, sort of telling him which way to go. I've got my arm up thinking like, bring the piece back and lift the weight off the saw, but it weren't happening.
I suppose in that situation, with the weight, it'd be really easy to bend the bar at that stage.
Oh yeah. Well, my chain had stretched that much from me just with adrenaline trying to yank it out. Then they're on the radio saying we've put you another saw on, and I had to pull that up about 30 odd metres. Like, why everyone's watching.
How do you keep your adrenaline under control? Because I know when I've had a team under me who've been really efficient, you're bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, it's like once you got through the first few cuts, you seem, like I said, getting to a rhythm and calm down. But like that day in particular, it was like one thing would go wrong, then my rope were getting snagged and I couldn't get out on a limb, and it was like, it just snowballed, and at the end of the day it was like, I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do it anymore. Just give me like a normal job, I'll go do a palm or something stupid. We've been chatting that long, we'll have to put the lights on while we're outside at the moment, so sorry about that little bit of a jump cut. Is there, obviously over in New Zealand, is it kind of common to have helicopters involved a lot more? Is there any specialist firms or anything?
It's like, amongst the tree community and all the climbers and stuff, everybody's well aware, like, it goes on. That's like the sort of what everybody wants to get involved with. But yeah, it's common. Like, it happens quite frequent, and not just the company I worked at as well. There was small to medium-sized companies around Auckland who, they got Ellis in as well.
What was the best thing working about that company for?
What was what?
What was the best thing about working with that company?
Probably that. Just getting exposed to big scale work, and sort of just upping your game. So then what sort of used to be like a challenging, scary job, you find a bit easier just because you've got hours under your belt doing the bigger stuff.
So you started off in Wigan, you went to New Zealand for a while, and then where did you end up?
I came back for about a month, and then it was actually through a lad I met in New Zealand. He got me a job, subbing out in Norway.
So you went from one of the warmest places to one of the coldest places like that?
Yeah, I did like a double winter because I left New Zealand at the end of the winter and then got here.
Even like a New Zealand winter, you can probably still put shorts on maybe.
New Zealand, it's pretty it's quite cold to be honest.
Is it?
I mean, it's not as bad as we have it, but New Zealand is seasonal. So like Australia is just pretty much warm all year. New Zealand, you're wrapping up on morning still in winter.
Right, correct me if I'm wrong again. Is it always dark in Norway winter time?
Only at the top.
Only at the top.
So at North Norway, I think they get like 3 months or something where it's pitch black.
So what was it like working in Norway then? Is it quite similar to working in the UK, or is it mildly different?
No, it's different again. It was pretty much just like big climbs every day, but pruning. Like just loads of pruning.
You're not a fan of doing small jobs, are you, by the sound of it? I'd never catch you doing a Conor or anything like that.
No, trust me, I've got a lot booked in. No, it was, just a lot of climbing, deadwooding, weight reducing. They've got a lot of snow out there, so a lot of Scots pines, thinning them out a little bit for it stop as soon as the snow comes, and it just, reducing risk of failure, really.
You got anywhere else on your travel card to go and work in?
Too busy now.
Never forced to go over to Canada and America?
I'd love to. I'd love a stint in Canada. That'd probably be finished then. But at the minute, I mean, I've done a couple of visits back to Norway when I set up, but early days. So like when I just started, so I could block a couple of weeks out and just go. Even though I was working, it was like a change of scenery, but no, I couldn't. No, I'm stuck in Wigan.
Stuck in Wigan. Right, so we went onto Instagram today. Follow us at All Things Orb on Instagram, because I knew we were coming to do an interview. I was like, people have got to have questions, so I've got a couple of questions for you. This one's from the Tree Fella. What is your favourite cut and technique?
I like the box cut, to be honest, which is with cranes or heli-related?
Cranes, helicopters, and in general.
Just in general, probably I call it a box cut. So if you've got big lateral limb, and they used to sort of peak, like if you're on pops or anything, decent undercut, take the sides right in, and then line the top in, and seams, touch wood, no matter how big the lateral is, it just drops off
just
flat.
goes. The next one, how do picks on cranes and choppers how do picks on cranes and choppers differ? So, working with a crane, is it similar to working with a helicopter, or is it two very different ways?
A crane's sort of slower pace, but bigger pieces. So to be honest, the cranes probably have to be more precise each cut and lift, depending on how you're balancing the pieces. Because like I said, a chopper you can pretty much butt tie a branch, cut it, but it's away that quick. It's not really, there's a lot less chance of getting it or struck with it. But yeah, to be honest, I think the crane's got to be a bit more...
What did you prefer, chopper or crane?
Helicopters. Yeah, definitely. If it went well.
That's mad. That question from
if you had a good day.
Timber Smith. And then we're finishing off with our little quick fire round, which has proven to be a bit of a hit with everyone. Forced or Timberwolf?
Forced.
Rain or sunshine?
If it's like today, rain. It's been too hot.
It's been a warm day today.
So I'm not into this.
What's your favourite tree care brand?
It's a good question, to be honest. Probably DMM.
I love DMM.
Yeah.
They're
made in Wales.
It's just something about their carabiners just look absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, they just did attention to detail.
Yeah.
Especially them new pulleys. I've not got one yet, but I don't need one. I just want one.
They do new Impact ones.
Yeah.
They look quite nice. It's just all DMM stuff always looks smart.
Yeah.
Because all my rigging kits, ISC stuff and Marlowe, and then all my climbing stuff I always went for DMM as much as I could. I'd say DMM's like the Mercedes type of stuff, I'd say, yeah. And I've already asked you this one, chopper or crane jobs?
Yeah, chopper.
Chopper jobs. Right, Conor, if people have any more questions about working with cranes or helicopters, how can they connect with you on Instagram?
Our Instagram page is at CJM Tree Care. Just add that and drop us a message.
Brilliant. Conor, thank you very much for coming on, mate. If you want to be our next guest on the All Things Orb podcast like Conor is, shoot us a message at All Things Orb over on Instagram.